When you think about the coins in your pocket or wallet, they may seem ordinary, just small pieces of metal we use every day. But what if I told you that some of those same coins could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? Hidden among the change you use for coffee, groceries, or gas are rare American coins that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. The fascinating part is that many of these coins are still in circulation today. They aren't locked away in museums or private collections. They're out there, moving from hand to hand, waiting for someone with a sharp eye to notice their true value. Small details like mint marks, production errors, or unusual designs can turn an ordinary penny, nickel, or dollar into a treasure worth far more than its face value. Some coins become valuable because of minting mistakes, like double dies, missing letters, or misaligned strikes. Others are rare because of low mintage numbers or unique historical significance. To most people, they look like any other coin, but to collectors, they are priceless pieces of history. That's what makes this so exciting. Anyone can find one. You don't have to be an expert or a millionaire. All it takes is a little knowledge and a closer look at the change you handle every day. In this video, we'll explore the most valuable American coins still in circulation, from pennies worth hundreds to dollar coins fetching thousands. You'll discover the stories behind them, why they're so rare, and how much they're really worth. So keep watching, because your next handful of change might just contain a hidden fortune. The first coin on our list is the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin, one of the most talked about and collectible modern U.S. coins. This was the first dollar coin ever issued in honor of a real woman in American history, making it highly significant. The design features the portrait of Susan B. Anthony, a legendary women's rights activist, and it replaced the Eisenhower dollar in an attempt to create a smaller, more practical dollar coin for everyday use. However, the Susan B. Anthony dollar faced problems right from the start. Its size and color looked too similar to the quarter, causing confusion in circulation. As a result, many people avoided using it, which led to lower mintages in some years and ultimately boosted collector interest. What makes the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar particularly valuable are the minting varieties and errors. For example, the 1979 wide rim or near-date variety is one of the most sought-after versions. While most coins from that year have a narrow rim, the wide rim variety is much rarer and can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on its condition. Additionally, proof versions and certain high-grade mint state coins can also reach significant auction prices. While most Susan B. Anthony dollars are only worth their face value, the key dates, special varieties, and error coins can bring in serious money from collectors. So if you ever come across a 1979 dollar coin, don't just assume it's ordinary change. Take a closer look, because you might be holding one of the most valuable pieces of modern U.S. currency still in circulation. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar has proven that even a coin once dismissed by the public can turn into a true treasure at auction. Collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts for the rare wide rim or near-date variety in top condition. In fact, this small difference in design has transformed ordinary pocket change into serious investment pieces. One striking example is a 1979 P wide rim graded MS-67 that sold for an incredible 2,056 25 O's at Legend Rare coin auctions. Another coin of the same grade brought in $1,680 at heritage auctions, showing just how competitive the bidding can get when collectors chase the finest examples. Price guides such as Gray Sheet confirm the demand, valuing uncirculated wide rim pieces anywhere from $13.50 all the way up to $1,900, depending on grade and certification. Even more recently, a toned 1979 P wide rim in MS-67 appeared at great collections, where bidding quickly climbed past $300, proving that these coins remain hot in today's market. When a dollar coin that was once overlooked in circulation can sell for thousands under the spotlight of an auction, it becomes clear why the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar deserves a place among the most valuable modern American coins. So the next time you spot a Susan B. Anthony dollar in your change, don't dismiss it as just ordinary coin, because you could be holding a hidden fortune worth thousands. The next coin on our list is the Sacagawea Dollar. First issued in the year 2000, this golden-colored coin was introduced to replace the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar, and it honored the Shoshone woman Sacagawea, who played a vital role as a guide and interpreter during the Lewis and Clark expedition. The obverse shows her portrait carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, while the reverse originally displayed a soaring bald eagle. Although the coin was struck in the hundreds of millions, certain rare versions and special editions have become some of the most valuable modern coins in American history. The most famous of all is the 2000 P Cheerios dollar. When the U.S. Mint wanted to promote the new coin, they partnered with General Mills and placed thousands of Sacagawea dollars in Cheerios cereal boxes. But what nobody knew at the time was that some of these promotional coins carried a special reverse design with extra tail feather detail on the eagle, making them extremely rare. Today, these Cheerios dollars are worth a fortune. At auction, a certified example of the 2000 P Cheerios Sacagawea dollar sold for an astonishing $29,900 in 2008, and high-grade specimens have continued to sell for $10,000 to $15,000 in recent years. Another rare variety is the 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar statehood quarter mule error, where the obverse of a Sacagawea dollar was accidentally struck with the reverse of a Washington quarter. This dramatic mint error is one of the most famous in U.S. history, and collectors have paid massive sums for it. One such mule error sold for an unbelievable $132,000 at Heritage auctions in 2019, making it one of the most valuable modern error coins ever discovered. Even standard Sacagawea dollars from 2000 can bring higher premiums if they are in pristine condition or part of special proof and mint sets. But it is the Cheerios dollar and the mule error that stand out as the true jackpots, turning a $1 coin into a life-changing find. So, the next time you come across a Sacagawea dollar, don't just see it as a shiny golden coin. Check carefully, because if you happen to find one of these rare varieties, you could be holding a piece of American coinage, history worth tens of thousands, or even close to $200,000. One of the most valuable coins you can still find in circulation is the U.S. quarter dollar. To most people, a quarter is nothing more than 25 cents for parking meters or vending machines. But for collectors, certain quarters are true treasures worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. While millions were produced over the years, two quarters from that first year are among the rarest and most desirable, the 1932D and 1932S. The Denver Mint struck just 436,800 quarters, while the San Francisco Mint made only 408,000. Both are considered key dates in the Washington quarter series. Even in worn condition, these coins bring hundreds of dollars, but in pristine uncirculated grades, collectors have paid staggering amounts. Auction records show the 1932D quarter selling for over $40,000 and the 1932S fetching $20,000 to $30,000 for coins originally worth just 25 cents. That's an incredible leap in value. But older quarters aren't the only ones to watch out for. Modern issues can also be highly valuable if they contain rare minting mistakes. A famous example is the 2004D Wisconsin State Quarter with the extra leaf error. Some of these coins show an additional leaf on the ear of corn on the reverse, either a high leaf or a low leaf version. These small variations made ordinary pocket change into collector's gold, with auction sales ranging from $500 to $6,000. Transitional errors have also produced highly sought-after quarters. In 1965, the mint switched from 90% silver quarters to a copper nickel-clad version. However, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets. These rare silver era quarters are incredibly valuable, with examples selling for more than $7,000. Even rarer is the 1970S proof quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter. This extraordinary mint error is unique and shows traces of the Canadian design underneath. Because of its rarity and unusual history, it sold at auction for an astonishing $35,000. All of these examples prove that quarters are not just pocket change. They can be hidden treasures. Whether it's a rare date like the 1932D and 1932S, a modern error like the Wisconsin Extra Leaf, or a dramatic transitional mistake, the humble 25-cent coin has given collectors some of the most exciting finds in U.S. coinage. So the next time you empty your wallet or get change at a store, don't overlook the quarters. That simple silver-colored coin could be worth far more than its face value. It could be your ticket to owning a piece of history and wealth. The next coin that might look ordinary but can actually be a hidden fortune is the 1978 no mint mark Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it's just a tiny 10-cent piece, something most people drop in a jar, spend without thinking, or even overlook entirely. But this humble dime can be one of the most surprising discoveries in American pocket change, carrying a value hundreds of times greater than its face amount. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and by 1978, the U.S. Mint was striking millions of these coins at its Philadelphia facility. Since Philadelphia dimes in that era had no mint mark, nearly all 1978 dimes you see today are common. But the true value lies in the condition, detail, and special varieties that very few examples possess. The most desirable pieces are those certified in gem mint, state with full torch designation. Full torch means that the vertical and horizontal lines on the torch on the reverse are fully struck, something extremely rare for this issue. When combined with flawless surfaces and sharp details, these dimes transform from everyday change into highly valuable collector's pieces. Auction prices prove just how valuable they can be. While a typical circulated 1978 dime is worth only 10 cents, pristine examples graded MS-67 with full torch have sold for $500 to $800. In even higher grades, such as MS-68 full torch, collectors have paid $1,500 to $2,000. That's nearly 20,000 times its face value. And since so few 1978 dimes survive in such perfect condition, their rarity continues to drive prices higher. This coin also benefits from the fame of other Roosevelt dime rarities like the 1968 Noah's Proof and 1982 No Mint Mark dimes, which have sold for thousands. Collectors, knowing that mint mark anomalies and proof quality examples can be extremely valuable, keep a sharp eye out for 1978 No Mint Mark dimes in top condition, making them highly sought after on the market. So, the lesson is clear. Never underestimate the smallest coin in your change. The 1978 No Mint Mark Roosevelt dime proves that even a coin worth 10 cents can carry hidden wealth. With the right example, worth thousands. Imagine finding one of these pristine gems in a coin roll or tucked away in an old jar. You wouldn't just be holding a dime. You'd be holding a treasure of American numismatic history. The next coin on our list is the 1964 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark. At first glance, this coin may look like one of the most ordinary nickels in circulation. After all, 1964 was the final year, before the U.S. Mint dramatically changed its coinage during the Coinage Act of 1965, and it struck nickels in record numbers. In fact, over 2.8 billion nickels were minted in 1964, making it one of the highest mintage years in U.S. history. Most people assume this makes the coin worthless beyond its face value. But the truth is, certain 1964 nickels can be extremely valuable. Here's why. In 1964, nickels from the Philadelphia Mint carried no mint mark, while Denver coins carried a small D. Because of the massive production, most of these nickels were not carefully struck, resulting in weak details, especially on Jefferson's steps at Monticello on the reverse. Collectors prize examples where the steps are fully visible, known as full steps nickels. These are very rare for 1964, especially in high mint state condition, and they can command astonishing prices. Auction records prove the value. A typical worn 1964 nickel might only be worth a few cents, but a 1964 Jefferson nickel with full steps in MS-66 condition has sold for more than $6,000. Even more shocking, one of the finest known examples, graded MS-67 full steps, once sold for over $32,000 at auction. For a coin that most people overlook as common, that is an incredible transformation in value. Adding to its allure is the historical context. 1960 was the last year U.S. coins were struck in 90% silver for dimes, quarters, and half dollars. Although the nickel was not silver, the year still holds special significance, making collectors especially eager to own high-grade examples. Transitional errors and proof issues from this period also attract strong demand, and every detail adds to the excitement of searching through old change for rare finds. So the 1964 No Mint Mark Jefferson nickel teaches us an important lesson. Even coins produced in the billions can hide treasures. With the right combination of grade, sharp detail, and rarity, a 5-cent coin from 1964 can become a prize worth thousands. So the next time you see a 1964 nickel, don't dismiss it as ordinary change. Take a closer look, because if it has those rare, sharp full steps and perfect condition, you could be holding a coin worth more than a brand new luxury watch. As we've seen, the coins we often ignore in our pockets, whether it's a dime, a nickel, a quarter, or even a dollar coin, can sometimes be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. From the rare varieties of the Susan B. Anthony and Sacagawea dollars, to the legendary 1932 Washington quarters, to the surprising Roosevelt dimes and Jefferson nickels, these pieces of metal aren't just small change, they're hidden treasures of American history. Every coin tells a story, Some remind us of presidents and pioneers, others of design changes and minting errors that slipped into circulation unnoticed. And while most coins may only ever be worth their face value, a lucky few carry the kind of rarity that can change lives. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the possibility that the next coin you find in your wallet, your change, or your old piggy bank could be one of these valuable treasures. So the next time you get your change at the grocery store or empty your coin jar, don't just spend those coins without a second glance. Take a moment, look closely, and remember, you could be holding a piece of history worth far more than you imagine. Because in the world of coins, it only takes one rare discovery to turn ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary fortune.